Yo, family, welcome back to another CM Chili video. And today, as you can tell by the title, and whatever, I've not done a YouTube video in ages, leave me alone. Anyway, can you see me okay? Right, so what we're doing is, as you can see there, why is Fortnite multiverse experience failed? I'm a really slow reader, so leave me alone. Anyway, let's get into this video. Let's stop chit-chatting and just watch it.
Fortnite is a game that has reached heights that no other game has managed to, but at the same time, it has also fumbled numerous opportunities in a way that genuinely hurts my soul. Do you remember when Peter Griffin was added to the game? Everyone...
Sorry for stopping so quick, but I don't care. You came here to watch me react to this video, so you're going to watch me react to this video. Anyway, yeah, I think Fortnite has fell off really bad lately. And it's not even fun anymore. Collabs aren't even fun that much anymore. Because there's like... But my neighbour's going to be in the game, in the item shop, I'm telling you. Like, I'll just log on one random day. There's this many collabs, I will end up seeing my neighbour in Fortnite. I swear down. It's like, it's insane.
Was confused as to why we had to get this muscular version of Peter instead of his original design. It was a great skin and all, but why couldn't we get the original Peter? Some people said that Peter had to be muscular because if he wasn't, he would have had too large of a hitbox, while Seth MacFarlane said that he heard Peter's actual body would have been too much for the budget. And
is there different hitboxes in Fortnite? I can't remember, I've not played Fortnite in that long. Is there actually different hitboxes? I thought it was all the same, to be honest. But damn.
I could have lived with either of those explanations. They would have been fair enough, if it wasn't for the fact that the giant chicken from the same show was added the same season with an arguably bigger hitbox than Peter could have ever had. You see, the thing about Fortnite's development direction is that it is constantly sabotaged by poor judgment and out-of-touch decisions. Have you ever seen someone who's so rich that they don't even know what to do with their money? Like a billionaire who outbids everyone on a Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR Uhlenhaut, only to cover it in a Galaxy wrap. I have never seen a more clueless yet egotistical corporation like that of Epic Games, a company which I can honestly describe as arrogant, because the people who lead this company's decisions always believe they know what's best for their games, even when they are clearly fumbling the easiest of decisions. Alright guys, I know you love the OG season, so we're gonna bring it back. Woo! Except the map is gonna be like...
The OG season when it came back was so peak, I can't lie, that was honestly a good time. And then they bring it back again. Season 1 up to like... What? When did I stop playing it? They added it back, fully OG. That was actually pretty fun. They had a double pump back and that. There was what chapter is it on now? You have to let me know in the comments. I think I stopped playing when they got to chapter 3. Not chapter 3, season 3, chapter 1, because they added in the old map, you know what I mean? It was actually peak. I played it for a bit. But yeah, when they kept bringing it back, it fell off. To be honest, I don't even think it was mostly that. It's the sweats in the game. The sweats in the game is what ruins it, in my opinion. Because, like, you play... It was so peak. Like, having fun. But when it was the first time they did it, and it wasn't even the OG map, it was a thing, I still thought that was peak, to be fair. Honestly, that was better than when they fully brought it OG back, in my opinion.
Weird and not OG, huh? And it's gonna be like Warzone Rebirth this time. What? Why couldn't you just leave it unchanged? I don't know how to do that. This is a development team with leadership in charge.
Right, this is probably controversial, but I actually I preferred it when you could respawn, because you got to think of this, right? From that, so many people came back to the game. They've not played it in ages, probably, like in fucking years. So they're going to be rusty at the game. And then when they die to a load of sweats who also want to play the game, it's just going to take so long. Keep going back to the lobby, loading back in. Oh no, there was that. You could just ready up from the thingy, couldn't you? But anyway, it makes it more fun for them because then they can still stay in the game and they have an easier chance of winning. So I understand why they did that.
That has never heard the phrase, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Sprinting used to feel smooth. Now it's an over-engineered slog. Skins used to have rarities. Now they don't. No studio makes me as angry as Epic Games.
They have added so much more movement. Bro, I swear you can do backflips now. You can jump off a wall and do a backflip. Like, yeah, I understand where that came from. And I actually ended up playing a bit when they was doing all that. The one where you jump off the wall, every time you jumped, you'd kick off the wall. That used to piss me off so much because literally, I'm cranking 90s and then you just jump off the side of the wall and you're dead to fall damage. It's so annoying. But yeah.
And I don't care if it's just me. I will despise them until the globe burns. Scorched if. Full of hoot. Now you might be thinking, this YouTuber is such a negative Nancy. Total negative Nancy. Why do you hate Epic Games so much? Yeah, why do you hate Epic Games so much? Because they take good opportunities and ruin them. Case in point, these three. Lego
Fortnite lasted a week. No doubt about it. I think I only even played it for like 2 days and then I went off because it was so dead. It was like a knockoff Minecraft, but worse. And like, it was so buggy. Half the stuff, you couldn't build floors in some places. What? I'm trying to build a house and I can't build a floor. I can't place down the floor in the middle. I've just got a gap in the middle of my floor. About right. Anyway.
Rocket Racing and Fortnite Festival. Released as the
Rocket Racing. I think I played it like once. That was so dead. Can't lie. Did anybody even play Rocket Racing? And then Fortnite Festival. I played it a bit. It's like, what's it called now? Guitar Hero, I think. It's literally just like that. I mean, it's alright. I did play it a bit. But then, like, I mostly played Battle Royale.
Main events of Chapter 5. These were meant to be staples on par with Battle Royale, and upon release, they each had a good amount of traction. But in a very small amount of time, they lost the majority of their players.
Yeah, they died so fast.
Fall-offs being Lego Fortnite. The fascinating thing about these games is that they were actually planned years in advance. You see, back in 2017, when Fortnite was popping off, it did in fact get to Epic's head, and this is the proof. All the way back then, a sketch was made about the future of Fortnite, and how the people behind it thought it should become a hub for gaming. A place where you could enjoy music.
I feel like Fortnite right now... Sorry for all the pausing. Actually, no, you want to watch me react to this, so you are. Anyway, if you don't like my content, don't watch it. But, what was I going to say now? Oh yeah, Fortnite was literally... It's trying to become Roblox, and Roblox right now, it's going through some stuff. We don't talk about that though. Damn. Anyway, Fortnite's literally going to try and become, well, it's trying to become like a Roblox, where you've got games inside of games, and then eventually Battle Royale is not going to be the main thing of Fortnite. There's just going to be a whole different selection where you can choose from. And that's what they're trying to do. But at the same time, most of the people on Fortnite are just sweats and they want to play competitive and stuff. So it's like, that's mostly all that really is in creative. Like, the only thing I see people playing in creative mostly is box fights, and then the meme box fights and stuff. Like, then there's other stuff where you might play a few times, but then they'll end up going back to box fights or playing Battle Royale. That's in my opinion. I think that is going to go horribly wrong if they keep going down that path. Also, same with like live events. Live events back then would be so peak. You'd literally like skip school, skip work, whatever. You'd be like, nah, gotta go to the Fortnite live event, bro. It's like, you'll miss it. And then I swear they'd give you like, you could get like a marshmallow skin or something if you went to a certain event. And then, so you'd go to that, want the stuff from it, and then you can flex to your friends or something, and then just have the experience going through the live event. And nowadays, you barely have any like good live events where you have to actually be there. It's mostly just a cutscene, which I also kind of like, but you also want something like that, in my opinion.
Music, PvP, survival, and more. You know how up your own quad crasher you gotta be to want to turn your battle royale into a multi-genre gaming hub? Can you imagine if at the height of PUBG or Apex Legends popularity they said, no, this is more than a battle royale, this is a medium? This is Epic Games' unique arrogance. To their credit, it is impressive that they thought of this idea this far in advance and actually ended up doing it. But that doesn't mean they did a good job.
Lego Fortnite fell off so fast.
For something that was so long in the making,
And it was so
these
buggy.
games were released in a rushed state. Probably
Definitely.
because Epic wanted Chapter 5 to be a big spectacle, so they rushed these games out to meet the release deadline. But as you'll see in this video, releasing these games in a rushed state was a huge mistake, because it permanently hindered their momentum, and the amazing game hub paradise that would have been suffered as a result.
Hey, Ready Player One, let's
Fortnite
go.
is no doubt the most infamous example. For those of you who don't know, this was essentially a Fortnite survival game with Lego DNA, and I mean actual
Knockoff Minecraft.
baked into the animals. At first, there was a lot of hype for this game because it seemed to be brimming with exciting new mechanics. This was not just a gimmicky Lego muck. There were Breath of the Wild physics, Dark Souls combat, advanced villagers, and even temperature that changed with biomes. However, even though there were a lot of bells and whistles, the game lacked depth and content to fill out those mechanics. And in less than a week, most players realized that there really wasn't that much to do. Sure, the world design was beautiful, but it also felt empty. The whole thing felt...
Definitely. It got so boring after 2 days, I swear down. You build your house, fight a few thingies, felt so easy to fight. And then it was like knockoff Minecraft. It was like a cheap version of Minecraft. It was so bad. It got so boring. There's like barely anything to do. You build your house, you get stuff done, you mess around with your mates, fight a few bosses. I don't even think there was that many bosses. And then there's nothing else to do.
Like a demo for Unreal Engine rather than a fleshed out game. And so the millions of players playing it soon turned into thousands. This, of course, is nothing new. Most games don't sustain their day one popularity for too long. But the drop-off here was particularly dramatic. This game went on from having a huge amount of discourse to most people dropping it and forgetting that it existed. The solution to this, of course, would be to update the game and give people new content to explore. And you'd think this wouldn't be an issue. I mean, this is coming from the studio behind Fortnite Battle Royale, a game that is constantly updated. But ironically, LEGO Fortnite's updates were incredibly lacking. The game came out around December 7th, 2023.
Has Lego Fortnite or any other one of them thingies you made, have they even had an update? And it's like they've been made. I swear they've not.
And by April 22nd, 2024, this is what the game had received. Launch pads, hunting daggers, fishing rods, and an animal pen.
They also added cars and a wrench.
Believe it or not, this was enough to compel most people to come back. Fast
Oh my
forward
days,
to
my
last
eyes.
month, and all that's been added since April was a Star Wars event and fast travel. Why does this feel like an indie game?
I'm actually going to crash out. Why is there so many Star Wars events in Fortnite, bro? At this point, Fortnite is Star Wars. I can't lie. Half the events from Fortnite is Star Wars. Oh my days.
Personally, the lack of content wasn't actually a big problem for me. I'm someone who digests games much slower than the average person. It takes me a long time to use all the content in most games I play because I tend to take things slower. Even though the player count was lower every time I hopped on the game myself, that didn't deter me from playing LEGO Fortnite, and I was perfectly content playing the game as it was. Little did I know, this naivete would lead to one of the biggest heartbreaks I may ever experience. You see, after getting hooked on the game for a couple of days, I decided I was going to build a massive project. I was inspired, convinced that even though the game was abandoned by
Lego
most
Movies
players,
peak.
that just meant there was more room for me to shine. I was going to become the Etho of LEGO Fortnite. And the Green of LEGO Fortnite. And you know what, while we're at it, and the Mumbo Jumbo, and the B-Dubs, Vintage Beef, Corral, the idea was to build a fortress that loosely resembled the city of Whiterun from Skyrim. I planned for my build to have a foundation that held up tons of decorated houses, all the while containing an underground system beneath the city. Buildings with multiple floors that I could find myself immersed in would surround me and cause me to forget about all my real-life problems. It would all be a part of what I built for the next few months to come. The ultimate sandbox experience. The best part was because the LEGO villagers were so smart, they had the ability to do jobs, so I could actually have NPCs roaming my city and doing real work that made the city feel alive. The whole thing felt like playing Minecraft for the first time again. I would collect the resources I needed, fight off enemies, and enjoy the process all the way through. It was shaping up to be one of the greatest gaming experiences I had ever had. And then, something weird happened. While working on placing the upper floorboards of one of my houses, a banner appeared that said I was now building in a high complexity area. I didn't know what this meant, so I restarted the game. But to my...
This is what I mean. Why would it not let you place the floors down? My days. Same experience. It doesn't let you place the floor down in certain areas, and it's so weird.
My horror, the message remained. Starting to fear the worst, I kept trying to install the floorboards, hoping it was only a fluke, but the message remained, hovering above my head like a cold diagnosis. To my horror, I realized I wouldn't be able to build my city anymore. I had somehow already found the limit to what LEGO Fortnite could handle. I had placed too many blocks in too much of a complex way, and now the game wouldn't let me build anymore. Suddenly the dream, the life, and the wife that I had imagined working towards had dissolved right before my eyes. I was so deeply excited to build this project, but now there was nothing I could do. I tried to keep building, I tried to work around it, but the game wouldn't let me place any more of my bricks. I became like Dr. Freeze, with the City of Plastic run becoming my frozen bride. It's very feasible that at that moment a large deposit of dopamine was destroyed and replaced with a void of confusion. Why do you have to
I'm
make
so
everything
tired.
that makes me happy? Peter wasn't enough! Jokes aside, this really did bum me out, and I never played LEGO Fortnite again. I simply had no reason to. Why would I play a building game where I couldn't trust that my builds would be able to be completed? For once, my only limit wasn't my imagination, but the game I was playing. So not only was LEGO Fortnite lacking
Facts.
content, but even the fundamental ability to build was broken. 8 months later, the problem seems to be fixed, but I'm not convinced this game is a worthy recipient of my time. For all I know, the complexity limit could hit me again later down the line, since I was very early on my build project when it first appeared. 1 out of 10. Rocket Racing was the least popular game for a reason.
Definitely.
Not only did it lack an interesting selection of maps, but its gameplay was super cut and dry. You can accelerate, boost, drift. Sure, it plays great. The wall riding is slick and the driving is smooth, but this has to be one of the most
At this point, you just go play not Phasmophobia. That's a completely different game. My bad. Forza. What's it called? Forza Horizon. The one where you're in cars and stuff. You can like get over cars. You might as well just go play that instead of this, or like even GTA races are better than this. GTA races are actually peak, so not dissing on GTA. Absolutely peak game. Can't wait for GTA 6.
creative games on Fortnite's platform. This game has less complexity than Only Up Fortnite, and at the moment probably less players too. This game feels like the equivalent of walking without the mental health benefits. It felt like CSGO surfing, but not as cool. It's a boring game, and that's coming from me, the guy who doesn't need a lot to be entertained. The only time I could bear to play this game was when I wanted to do something while listening to a podcast. And I don't think that's what the devs were going for. It's a bland game that barely has anything in it to make it complex. The skill ceiling feels so low you have to trench crawl to get through it. It's the most rudimentary racing game I'll probably ever play, almost like it was created just to fulfill a corporate checkbox.
Hey guys, we own Rocket League now, and I don't want to end up like that guy from Smiling Friends, the chicken nugget guy, so let's put it to good use, alright? Let's make a racing game with this.
Alright, are we gonna make the game interesting?
Nope.
The only good thing I will say about Rocket Racing is that out of the 3 games, it felt the least glitchy. Speaking of glitchy, Fortnite Festival is the least polished
No.
of the 3. This is basically Fortnite Guitar Hero. Sounds awesome in concept, but the problem was that it was released with an incredibly small selection of songs. In fact, there was such a small selection
Come on,
it
is that
actually
just shit
caused
me up?
people to fixate on the small amount of songs they could play. Since Bad Romance was one of the only songs on the roster, it actually had a mini revival. People listened to that song so many times that a whole nother
Oh, my bad.
generation became obsessed with it. Solely because sometimes your only choice would be between playing that or The Search by NF, which went on to be known as The Search for Better Music. The game is similar to Rocket Racing in that they took no more than a couple sessions to master. Hit the notes, fiddle the triangle notes, and occasionally press the spacebar. If I'm correct, this is pretty close to the Guitar Hero formula, but
Right, am I the only one who actually thought this was hard? Like, I think I actually crashed out on this once.
the thing is, there's a very big difference between Fortnite Festival and Guitar Hero. Guitar Hero songs can get really difficult to play, and you can spend days trying to master their difficulty. That's where a lot of people get hooked on it. It's that mastery. But Fortnite Festival songs do not get on that same level of difficulty. I could play any song on
They did
expert
to me
mode
all my
3
days.
times.
Some of the songs that they ended up adding afterwards was so hard.
Uh-oh, I disconnected or something happened. My whole notes have just stopped. Oh, shoot, my notes are going again.
I don't know enough about
Alright.
games today, but weeks into playing it after it first came out, there were glitches regularly happening. About 1 in 5 games would suffer from an interruption. Sometimes that would be the camera lingering on the stage for a couple minutes too long, with the game not being able to start, and other times there would be a crash if you emoted at the wrong time. Some people even figured out how to break outside of the game's bounds. With all that being said, I would be lying.
I wish I knew how to do that. Oh my days.
Seeing Omni-Man shred Everlong is hilarious. But once that loses its novelty, the game feels pretty hollow. If it was presented on a smaller scale, like a limited time event, that would make sense. But this is a game mode that was propped up along the likes of LEGO Fortnite and Battle Royale, and it just does not match their caliber. While the content of these games may have been lacking, the microtransactions certainly weren't. But the funny thing is, they were also a bust. No one's buying this stuff. Allow me to present to you some of the dumbest items that have become purchasable with these games. For Rocket Racing, you've got car builds, decals, wheels, trails, and boosts that you can stare into to help you fall asleep faster. If you want to play songs in Fortnite Festival without them being in the free rotation, it will cost you 500 V-Bucks for the right to play them. They do
Alright. I forgot what I was going to say. I can't lie. I'm so sorry. I don't know where my phone is. Oh, it's in my pocket. My bad. 1 sec. I'm just going to go check the time real quick. It's 10:56 and I'm tired. I don't know why I keep zoning out. But, like, my bad. I forgot what I was going to say. Why is it so... Oh, it's a table. It's cold. I thought it was wet. My bad. Anyway.
do function as emotes, which you can use in Battle Royale, but they're stuck on a stem player system where you can only play one part of your song at a time. This means that unless you can find 3 other people who dished out the 500 V-Bucks for your favorite song, you'll have to perform a Buddy Holly a cappella, or just play the bass riff, which is like really weird. I don't know why you'd just do that, but
I understand why they made it 500.
Now pollutes the store also comes from Festival. Microphones, guitars, bass guitars, and instrument emotes. You know well that no one is buying any of this stuff in
Why was some of the things like guitars and drum kits, why was some of them going for so much? I swear there was like 3,000 V-Bucks or something for a flipping cardboard drum set.
September 2024. But fear not, sometimes Festival has a battle pass. This is 1 page long, yet it costs 850 more V-Bucks than the regular battle pass. It's almost twice as expensive.
That is diabolical.
For 1 page.
That is diabolical.
LEGO Fortnite had one of these too, which reminds me, even though LEGO Fortnite barely received any updates, there was one way to get more content. And it sucks. A bit after LEGO Fortnite came out, these kits started appearing in the shop, and they are probably the saddest item that I will mention in this video. These are basically 3D instruction kits with what I believe are exclusive bricks. You pay to be able to build an exclusive structure in your world, like a Der Burger restaurant, just a couple evolutionary steps away from NFTs. Especially since people were able to build pretty similar stuff for free. For a virtual instruction kit, it's probably like 500 V-Bucks. Nope. 2,000 V-Bucks. Basically $100 for this ridiculous sell. You could buy a real LEGO kit with that money. That's the sad dystopian part. Just buy a real kit. It's insultingly close to the piece to price ratio of a real LEGO set.
And you'd actually probably have more fun building an actual LEGO set than doing it in a game, because you'd do that and you'd be bored in the game. I can't lie. You get bored so easy on LEGO Fortnite, but then in real life you can like... There's no bugs that can stop you from building your thing other than like struggling on instructions. That never happened with me. Anyway, then you can like build your own Lego town or something without the floor not being able to place.
something that isn't real. We got people paying to build a virtual Lego set before GTA 6. I am going to give credit where credit is due and applaud Epic for where they weren't greedy. Because the cool thing about Lego mode, and another reason why it's such a shame it's not more supported, is that the skins and emotes you already own from Battle Royale can be used in Lego format at no additional cost.
That was actually kind of good, to be fair.
Might seem like the bare minimum, but I'm honestly surprised this happened. However, because Lego Fortnite was more rushed than a Town Hall 11 with level 8 walls, many of the skins were still under construction on release. Dozens of them had to have placeholder skins that look like half-baked bootlegs, and countless emotes were also missing. This is obviously because the Lego dev team clearly didn't have enough time to adapt them all. Do you notice how many problems a rushed release creates? All of these cosmetics have done an excellent job of cluttering the game's UI and filling up the shop with stuff that no one's going to buy. Because the locker section has to contain all of these miscellaneous cosmetics, it's way less intuitive than it used to be. And every time you look at a skin in the shop, there's a good chance you'll see a Lego version on the same skin stapled on to give it more value. And it just feels like a real and Bumblebee moment if you don't play Lego Fortnite anymore, because it crushed your dreams. I mean, think about it. The average player is only playing Battle Royale or community games and can't use these items. But now they're
Facts. You'd literally just... What the flippity flop was that? You'd literally just keep going back to Battle Royale because you get bored of all the other ones. And then if you're like me and you're really bad at the game, you'll play about 2 games, die, and rage quit.
gonna have to see and sort through all of this junk on a regular basis. I feel bad for whoever works on Fortnite's shop, because having to include and manage all of these random items that have various values must be a headache. All for Rocket Racing to have Toontown level player counts. And the thing is, because they introduced all of these cosmetics that are tied to dying games, the baggage that Fortnite must now carry is going to be a continuous burden. Unless they want to hurt their reputation, they can't just stop supporting these games. But the player counts for the games are only going to continue to dwindle because no matter what update you introduce to these games, the novelty is already gone and most players are never coming back. So Epic has to keep renewing licenses for old songs and purchasing new ones. They have to keep building metaverse real estate Lego sets no one's using, and they have to keep producing new guitars. It's just funny and sad how a giant like Epic Games is now stuck in this predicament because of their own poor judgment. So, what should they have done differently? Let these games bake.
I might have to play Fortnite again. Like, I kind of want to know what it looks like now because I've not played in about, well, since last time I went live, and that was a while ago. I've not been live in a while. I promise live streams on TikTok and that are coming back. I'm just working on the attic with my dad because I'm getting my gaming room up there. It's almost done. Carpet should be up soon. Well, we have to do a bit more painting. Carpet should be up soon. Then I'm taking my desk and that up there, and then we'll be up in the attic, and it'll be way better.
For another year or two and introduce them one at a time. Instead of sending out unfinished games 3 at a time because you need to have a fireworks show every time 10 seasons have ended, take your time and don't rush something that's going to be a long-term investment.
Also, I don't know if this is just me, but you play Fortnite, right? There's that one good season what brings everybody back. You play it, the season ends, the next 10 seasons are so dry, they're so dead, they're boring, there's like barely any updates, and when there are updates, they're so bad. And then there'll be that one season what keeps bringing you out. This is why I feel like Fortnite can't die, because just as it's about to die, they end up locking in, making a good season, you play it. Sometimes you don't even play it through the whole season, you just play it for free half, but then, yet again, you've came back to the game. This is why Fortnite is like still a peak game, because they can always end up bringing you back, but half the time they fell off and you don't play it until that one season where they lock in.
Nowadays, these games have improved and have been given more content. Not really Lego Fortnite, still kind of nothing going on there somehow. But because of how they were rushed at their launch, they permanently lost momentum that they're never going to get back. A wise man once said, "A delayed game is eventually good, but a rushed game is forever bad." Sure, these games have their audiences and they're not unplayable, but their potential was wasted. Based on my criticism, you might take me for someone
Idiot
who
sandwich.
just wants to see Fortnite fail, because I'm a Minecraft-obsessed Redditor. But the reason why I get so critical about Fortnite is because I truly like the game. And when it does stuff right and goes in the right direction, it's always an awesome experience. I wanted these games to succeed. I poured time into LEGO Fortnite because I saw the potential in it and wanted to work on it until it was unplayable for me. You know, Fortnite Festival, I actually purchased a total of 10 jam tracks to play with, which in total is an investment of 5,000 V-Bucks. You can tell
But
I
right.
really wanted to have fun with these games. I wanted them to be good. But the ego behind this company just repeatedly ruins good potential. If these games had more time to be fleshed out, I guarantee they would have been at the same level of popularity that Battle Royale has and have been able to sustain it. But instead,
Yeah, Fortnite rushes so much stuff lately. It's literally fully fell off.
they were unfortunately used as cheap gimmicks to hype up Chapter 5, and they are now destined to linger on the platform as niche side projects. A complete failure based on the amount of resources.
Yep. Fortnite has actually fell off lately, but hopefully they bring back a good season where everybody plays again. I'm actually might make a video on us coming back to Fortnite. We might play Fortnite again soon. But W video. I'll give him a subscribe. And bye.